We humans, we really like feeling in charge, right? That sense of control.
Absolutely. It feels, well, necessary sometimes.
But what happens when that desire for control actually starts working against us?
Yeah, that's where things get tricky.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something called the illusion of control.
Mm-hmm.
That sneaky feeling that we have more influence over events, especially like random ones, than we actually do.
Exactly. It's a really powerful cognitive bias. Ellen Langer, back in 1975, she really pinned this down.
Langer, right. She did the foundational work.
She did. She showed how we often get confused between situations needing skill and those that are pure chance.
How so?
Well, it happens when certain skill cues are present in those chance scenarios. They sort of trick our brains.
Skill cues. Okay, like what kind of cues are we talking about?
So Langer pointed out four main ones. First up is choice.
Choice.
Yeah. Think about picking your own lottery numbers versus getting a random quick pick. If you choose your numbers, even though the odds are identical, you'll probably feel that ticket is worth more, maybe be less willing to trade it.
Huh. Right. Because I picked them.
Yeah.
It feels personal.
Exactly. That choice creates a feeling of ownership, of influence, even when there's none.
Okay, makes sense. What's cue number 2?
The next one is involvement or action.
Involvement. Like doing something.
Precisely. Imagine rolling dice in a game. If you roll the dice yourself,
Yeah.
you're likely to feel more confident about getting the outcome you want compared to if someone else rolls for you.
I can see that. Like my personal role has some special magic.
Kind of. Your action feels connected to the random outcome. It's that illusion again.
Okay, so choice, action.
Yeah.
What else?
Third is competition. This one's interesting.
How does competition play into chance?
Well, imagine a game of pure luck, like betting on a coin flip. If you're playing against someone who seems really hesitant or not confident,
Yeah.
you might actually be tempted to bet more.
Really? Why?
It's as if their lack of confidence somehow improves your odds, which of course it doesn't, but it feels that way.
That's funny. Like their bad vibes are good luck for me.
Okay, and the last one.
The last one is familiarity.
Familiarity. How does that work?
People often prefer lottery tickets or scratch cards that have familiar symbols or, designs they recognize.
Why? Just comfort.
Yeah, partly comfort. It creates this subtle feeling that the familiar thing might somehow be luckier. Again, no actual basis, but the feeling's there.
So these cues, choice, action, competition, familiarity, they don't just make us feel in control, they actually change how we behave.
That's the key point. It's not just a belief. It directly influences our actions and decisions in chance situations.
But why? Why are we so susceptible to this? Is it just wishful thinking?
It goes deeper than that, I think. It taps into some really fundamental human needs. The need for predictability, for structure, agency.
Feeling like we can influence our world? Exactly. Feeling in control helps reduce anxiety. It can actually motivate us to act, which might even have had evolutionary advantages.
Whereas feeling helpless, that's stressful.
Hugely stressful. And if you've had past experiences where things felt really unpredictable or chaotic,
Right. That might make you crave control even more.
definitely. It can also get tangled up with self-esteem issues, like exerting control gives a temporary feeling of competence.
You see it in perfectionism too, maybe. That need to manage every single detail.
Absolutely. The desire for absolute predictability.
Which brings us to this central paradox, doesn't it? The more we try to control things we can't actually control.
The worse we often end up feeling. More anxiety, more frustration.
Why does it backfire like that?
Well, it's linked to our discomfort with uncertainty. We just don't like the unknown. Some call it uncertainty aversion.
Like the Ellsberg paradox, preferring known risks over unknown ones.
Something like that, yeah. We try to fight the uncertainty, to resist it. But resistance often strengthens the very thing we're fighting.
Like trying not to think about something.
Exactly. The classic, don't think of a white bear problem. The effort makes it pop up more.
Okay.
And trying to control, say, other people's feelings or actions, that usually just creates friction, resentment. It's exhausting mentally.
Right. It drains your energy.
And then when our attempts inevitably fail because the thing was uncontrollable, the negative reaction, the disappointment, the frustration can feel even bigger.
You see this illusion pop up in everyday life all the time then.
Oh, everywhere. Gambling superstitions, lucky shirts.
Oh, yeah. Or those crosswalk buttons that don't actually speed up the light. The placebo buttons.
Those are a perfect example. Pressing it gives you that little hit of perceived control.
What about bigger scale things? like finance.
Definitely. Overconfidence in predicting market movements, for instance,
Yeah.
leads to overly risky investments sometimes, the illusion of control over market randomness.
And relationships.
Yeah, sadly. Controlling behavior often stems from deep insecurity that need to manage the other person to feel safe. Tactics like isolation, criticism, manipulation.
That sounds quite negative. And in the workplace.
Micromanagement is a classic manifestation. The manager feels they need to control every tiny detail, often stifling creativity and trust.
So the fallout is pretty significant. Poor decisions.
Irrational risk-taking, overconfidence. Yeah.
Emotional toll too.
Yeah.
Stress, anxiety.
Burnout, definitely. Strained relationships, obviously. And just generally lower well-being.
So, okay, if fighting the uncontrollable, trying to force certainty just makes things worse, what's the alternative? We can't just give up, can we?
It's not about giving up. It's about shifting focus. It starts, really, with challenging that deep-seated need for absolute certainty, learning to tolerate ambiguity.
Which sounds difficult.
It is. It takes practice. Mindfulness can be incredibly helpful here.
How's that?
Mindfulness helps anchor you in the present moment. It lets you observe those thoughts, the I need to control this thoughts, without immediately acting on them or judging them, creating a bit of space.
And I've heard about acceptance-based stuff too, like ACT.
Yes, exactly. Acceptance and commitment therapy, or concepts like radical acceptance, they're about ceasing the struggle against reality, accepting what is, even if it's uncomfortable.
So stop trying to wrestle the situation into submission.
Right. And crucially, shifting your energy towards what you can control.
Which is what?
Well, your own actions, your effort, your responses to situations, how you choose to behave according to your values, regardless of the outcome you can't control.
So focus on your side of the street, essentially.
That's a good way to put it. It's about embracing the flow a bit more, reducing that constant struggle by accepting uncertainty and focusing on your own response.
Master your reaction, not the chaos itself. Lots to think about there. Thanks for breaking down this illusion of control for us.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating aspect of how our minds work.